about Japan Wagyu, right?
Yeah.
Do they also do dry age?
I've seen them do that, which I think is insane. You know, but I mean, because Wagyu is already so expensive.
Yeah.
The minute you put a knife to it, the cost of Wagyu is incredibly expensive. And
Right.
when you dry age Wagyu, you're going to shrink it by 20%.
Yeah. You have to pay more.
I mean, only a king can afford Wagyu steak, dry.
大家好，欢迎来到品味之境的 Border of Taste， 我是Yvonne。今天我们要跟大家讲一讲牛排。我们常常看到 menu 啊，上面有什么湿式熟成、干式熟成，到底是什么东西啊？所以今天呢，我们请到了一个 international world famous 的 chef Cale， 我们请 Cale 来帮我们介绍一下什么叫做湿式熟成。跟干式熟成，还有他会带我们去看他的秘密基地哦。我们一起来欢迎 Cale。Hi, welcome. I heard that you have been a chef for basically entire of your life.
About 46 years.
46 years. How did you get into steak?
Well, I've always loved steak.
Yeah.
I grew up in beef country. I was born and raised in Montana.
Beef country, like US?
US, yeah. I was born and raised in Montana. So I grew up eating beef, eating steak, rare steaks on the bone, including dry-aged beef. That's where I kind of honed my palate as a young kid. So I was always interested in it. And I worked in, even in the US, I ran some busy steakhouses in my early part of my career.
Oh, so you mentioned about dry age. I think a lot of people kind of confused when they look at the menu and say, oh, 湿式熟成, 干式熟成. But sometimes the 干式熟成 is a bit more pricey than the 湿式熟成. So what's the main difference between wet age and dry age?
Well, dry aging is a process that actually it improves the beef quality. It actually enhances the beef flavor to a high intensity level. So it's a very special product that's been around for a long, long time. And what you do is it put it in a special cooler or a storage area where it's exposed. The whole piece of meat is exposed to the elements inside the storage facility.
So it's like there'll be an aging room.
An aging room, exactly. And over time, that beef will shrink because it's dry in there. There's a velocity of wind in there and some elements that cause that to shrink. But as it shrinks, the intensity of the flavor grows and becomes really rich and deep.
So when you say when it shrinks, does that mean that the fat will also shrink?
Yeah,
as
the fat
well?
on the outside shrinks, but the flavoring and the intensity of the beef, the whole muscle shrinks, so everything intensifies.
Oh, I see.
All the enzymes in the beef sort of intensify in flavor. So that's why dry-aged beef has a very special flavor and very intense beef flavor, which is really, really delicious.
It's like beef is constantly doing workout.
It really
is. That's why it has a lot of muscle.
You can call it working out.
Okay.
Working out while it sleeps on the shelf, yes.
So at the supermarket, normally the beef we buy are mostly wet age?
Wet age. What they mean by wet is it's the beef comes packed. Each side of beef comes packaged in a vacuum cryovac bag. And that bag is where they age the beef. It never gets opened and exposed to the elements. It's just aged in the chiller, in the refrigerator, in that bag for a certain amount of time. 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, etc.
So the price differs from how long you age them, or it's
generally
pretty much
not. Certain cuts of beef need a little more wet aging than others. Some are fine at 21 days wet age. Some need to be wet aged for, like a top sirloin, should be wet aged for 45 to 55 days.
Wow. So in your opinion, because you have been eating steak pretty much entire of your life, what will you choose? If you want to go to a steakhouse, will you choose dry age or wet age? And how many days of the the aged steak that you will prefer or recommend it?
Okay, I would definitely go straight to the dry age bone-in New York. That's my favorite go-to steak anywhere on the planet.
Anywhere on the planet.
Bone-in dry age New York, you've got me. I'm on that steak right away. It's my favorite steak.
Is there any specific days of the dry age that you prefer?
Well, here at Smith&Wollensky, we dry age our beef for 28 days. But I also have deep dry age cuts that are kind of on a secret menu.
What is deep dry age cuts?
For instance, I have some 80-day dry age cuts. I also have some 120
Oh,
dry.
so that pretty much have to pre-book, otherwise it didn't see on the menu. So since you've been in Taiwan for, you mentioned, more than 3 decades, what do you think is the main difference of, the drying age system in Taiwan and then in US?
Well, I think there's on terms of dry age scale, we're probably the largest in terms of scale of dry aging because we sell so much of it. We've had to move from out of our restaurant dry aging to this facility because the volume of dry aged beef that we sell is extremely high. I also like wet aged beef as well. I like the sweetness of the wet aged beef, but I mean, of course, my favorite is dry aged beef.
Because you're from US, so you mostly mention about US beef. How about New Zealand and Australia?
All great. They all dry age very nice. All those countries also use a dry aging process to enhance the flavor of their beef.
And how about Japan? We heard about Japan Wagyu, right?
Yeah.
Do they also do dry age?
I've seen them do that, which I think is insane. But I mean, because Wagyu is already so expensive.
Yeah.
The minute you put a knife to it, the cost of a Wagyu is incredibly expensive. And if you dry age Wagyu, you're going to shrink it by 20%.
Yeah. You have to pay more.
I mean, only a king can afford a Wagyu steak with dry age. But I'm sure I've never had it myself. I know there's a guy, I think it's in New York, there's a Japanese kind of a steak place.
Yeah.
And he dry ages his Wagyu beef for 100 days.
Really? Wow, that is so luxury.
But I saw on YouTube, but the cost of that steak, you need to swipe your Black American Express card.
那我们现在呢，就去来探索一下这个 aging 的这个 room 的秘密，好不好 ？So let's go check it out. Where you do the aging process?
Sure.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Wow. Okay, follow you, Cale.
Okay.
Wow.
This side is the beef that's dry aging in process. Okay, is where this beef came into the dry aging room on October 6th. The weight was 11.6 kilos.
这一些全部都是我们现在正在熟成，但我必须要说，我进来的时候，我完全没有闻到那些腐烂的尸体的味道。Normally, when you go into an aging room with so many beef, you feel like, it's stinky. But then it doesn't feel very smelly. Why?
It's because we have the high wind velocity, and that helps dry the beef quickly, and also UV lights kill the bad bacteria, but keep the good bacteria.
原来如此，所以我进来，我简直感觉我像到了一个真的 like a bakery shop，
It should smell like
很香
baked cake.
完全没有那种腐烂牛肉的味道，好 interesting 哦。So then you mentioned this one is newly processed in October
6th.
对不对？然后它原本是11.6公斤 ，but then once it finish aging, it will shrink.
Yes, it'll shrink about 15%.
Okay.
A little bit red, so it's still in process. When it's done, it's going to look like this beef here is already ready to cut.
Okay.
So it'll look dark. It'll have a black
好，我
color
们
to
进
it.
来一点点。
And it will be hard like a stone.
这个就是已经dry age 比这个还要久，多20几天的。你看哦，它敲起来很硬，颜色相对而言也比较红。It's even darker. The color is even darker.
Yes, and this all came in September.
September.
So, yeah.
Which part of this are?
This is the ribeye.
Oh, the ribeye.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And these are bone-in New Yorks here.
哦，这个是 bone in New York 我最喜欢的部分。
Yeah.
最棒
Me
的
too.
部分，
我最喜欢的。
我也是。看的颜色真的是当它dry age 越久的时候，它的颜色会越来越深，然后甚至还有一些，这些是不是上盖
This is the ribeye sangai. What we do is we'll take these are dry aged also, and we will clean these up, then we roll them up and freeze them, and we slice them and make dry aged ribeye carpaccio.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like a stone.
Yes. 好硬哦
Yeah.
其实很硬哎，完全它的 texture 已经全部都变成是很紧了哦
Yeah.
已经看不出来这
We'll
个
trim this all away, and inside is very red. 还是很红。
里面还是红的呀
Yeah.
好特别哦。而且我必须说，真的完全没有什么味道，让我觉得很讶异。我一直以为进来会一大堆尸体的味道，没有想到 aging room 居然这么神奇。看它一个一个都排得清清楚楚，每个都有编号，都有写它进来的年跟时间，然后以及它的重量。 Wow, thank you so much. Anything else you want to add into the aging room?
Just say that the flavor is, it looks really unattractive on the outside, but the flavor is locked into these pieces of meat.
So even the outside, it looks darker,
Yes.
not attractive, but when you cut it,
It's
still
beautiful
red.
and red, and the flavor is really intense and
And you
beautiful.
mentioned the 3 biggest important elements
Yes.
in an aging room. One is the fan,
The wind. We
Wind.
call velo.
velo,
Velo is wind velocity.
And the second?
Of course, is temperature.
the temperature.
We keep this at about 2 to -2 degrees.
2 to minus. And then the third one,
And third, of course, the UV lights. It's very low tech, but it's very efficient. We've been doing this for 45 years.
它应该算是全台湾，甚至是我们能够接触到 dry age 最厉害的专家了。非常谢谢你，谢谢。那如果你喜欢这一集的节目，麻烦请你按赞、分享，然后并且订阅、开启小铃铛。我们下一次见喽！